So I am starting the recording now. So is everyone doing well?
Yes.
Yes.
So I really have no agenda for today's session. I'm really just here to answer questions for you or provide any insight or guidance, anything like that. So do you all have any questions?
Not yet, I don't.
Not yet. How is it going so far? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel good?
At the beginning, I was kind of scared because I never have taken an online class. I teach only face-to-face. I like that interaction with my students, to talk with them, to explain to them the stuff. But now I feel more and more confident, and I see you graded that statement of understanding. That I'm very happy. I can feel how the students are happy when I grade very quickly their work. So maybe during the course I'll have questions, but for now I feel more confident and happy to learn. And I see many colleagues here from the math department, so we always help each other a lot. But
yes, and I'm sure that they have lots of ideas and suggestions because math has been online for quite a while now. Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And so often when I do collaborate with my classes, if it's a larger class, I will mute everyone, which you will have those controls as a moderator, because you will notice sometimes it gets very loud in the background. It's sort of difficult to follow conversations when there's so much background noise. But I'm just looking on here, I can see everyone is muted. So that's probably why the sound quality is so good. So I realize that this course does have a lot of assignments and work to do, but as we all have been teaching online for the end of spring semester, we hopefully have some experience now with working on Blackboard. And so really the purpose of this class is to help you organize your material online so that it becomes a cohesive unit for your students. So with that being said, are you experiencing any barriers or, I don't know, challenges as we sort of dive into this Teaching Online Successfully Create session? Total silence.
I'm not so far. So far it's been really good. I'm just wondering, did anybody have any issues with people not hearing them when they tried to do collaborate sessions? And I don't mean like the sound not working at all. I mean the sound cutting out so much that it was a problem. Did anybody else have that issue?
I did.
Because I ended up going to Zoom.
Yeah, so some of my students had better luck with Collaborate and others had better luck with Zoom. I don't know, some of them just couldn't get Zoom to work for them.
I think it has more to do with people's internet connections. And, you know, if they didn't have a strong internet connection and they had everybody at home in their house and their brothers and sisters are all doing things and their parents are working from home,
well, here's the thing. My problem wasn't just with my students not hearing me. It was in the recording. I couldn't even hear myself later on in the recording.
Oh, I never had that problem. I just had like some students who had.
Yeah, and I occasionally have it with Zoom too, where my voice doesn't, and I mean, that's just when I'm recording myself and there's nobody else there.
So Lisa, have you ever used a headset so then your voice becomes concentrated in the microphone? It tends to create a better quality recording if you're just using it for recordings.
I actually lecture on my whiteboard, So I don't know if that would just like look weird with the heads. With the
It
heads.
totally looks weird. I wear it when I do recording, so yeah, it looks really weird. But the sound, I found the sound quality it's much more concentrated and it's easier for students to understand. I see that Marianne Iraqi has a question. Marianne, do you have a question or a comment for Lisa?
This for me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I have a question. Can I use WebEx? I don't use Zoom. I don't use Blackboard Collaborate, but WebEx can I use for video meetings? So it will
Yes,
work.
absolutely. You can use whatever platform that you feel most comfortable.
Okay.
And same with students, but I think that I've experienced it in my household when I do on the internet, that any of the programs don't work that well because we're all competing for, I don't know, bandwidth, right?
Lisa, with respect to the headset, I don't have one, but I'm looking at getting one. And I think the kids won't mind it because probably a lot of them are gamers and they have them and they use them all the time anyway. So, you know, I don't think that the kids would think that it looks weird.
No, right. I agree. I see that Donald is raising his hand. Donald, did you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, a couple things. Do you have a actual phone calling number for this? Because the audio computer connections don't work too well usually. And I didn't see any phone number listed with this appointment.
I can absolutely provide that.
You know, I mean, when I do WebEx, you have both. Because my internet goes in and out, and that's the problem with a lot of people.
I agree. I will put that on Blackboard right now. And I can also post it on here as well. And I think that's a really good idea for our students is to also provide the phone option. As I think that for those that have not the greatest internet at times, it can help. And so I also place the phone number as well as PIN in the chat. And then Phil, I see you have a question. Is there something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I have no idea how to use Collaborate. So is that something that we're going to be learning?
We don't specifically have a lesson on Collaborate, but I can certainly send you some information on how to use Collaborate, as well as the Academy has some useful resources as well. I'm just writing this down for myself so I remember to put it on Blackboard for you. Okay, I will send you some material and I'll see if I can find some right now to help you get started. I've found that it's pretty intuitive to use Collaborate, Zoom, WebEx, so I don't think you will have an issue.
Well, I've used Zoom and I've used Google Meetings, but I haven't used Collaborate.
So I think it's probably pretty similar.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Charlotte, you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering what you recommend for office hours. So in the spring, I started with like just having my usual office hours, but then I ended up sitting and nobody ever showed up. And so is it okay to just say, you know, if you want to meet, email me?
Yeah, so for fall, how office hours will look is that they're asking faculty and probably adjuncts, or adjuncts have posted office hours, for faculty to post 9 to 10 hours a week of times you will be available to make appointments. So
Okay.
it's not you sitting in front of the screen
Right.
waiting for someone to enter a room. And I think it's a nice way to do it. Then you can use WebEx, you can use Collaborate, you can use Zoom, you can do a phone call, but it also becomes more personalized for the students. So again, then other students aren't encroaching in on the time that you're spending individually with one student.
Okay, great, thank you. Also, Phil, I'm pretty sure that on the math department's Blackboard site, there is some information about how to use Collaborate.
Okay, I'll
Thank
check that out.
Hi, I have a question. When you said 8 to 10 hours we should be available, is that, like, I'm going to be teaching 2 to 3 of the same sections of the same course. So that means I need to be available 8 to 10 hours, not for each section, just in general?
Yes, and Lori, I'm sorry, this is for full-time faculty
Okay,
or adjunct?
I'm an adjunct.
Okay, so for adjunct, there aren't required office hours that you are required to be available for students, but it would be nice to follow a similar protocol saying, I'm available every day from 10 to 12 if you'd like to make an appointment during those times, or I can work with your schedule.
Okay, but there's not a set number of hours.
No, there is not.
Charlotte, just something FYI, what I did in the spring when we went to full-time, I would have our Collaborate room open, they have that course room, and I would open up the Blackboard and I would type on the Blackboard, I'm available for office hours, please talk to me to get my attention. And then I would go to other windows on my computer and do all my work. And then if a student came, and I had one kid, he would come almost every day. Professor Hoadley, hey, Professor Hoadley, and it was no shit. And I'd jump over to the screen where the Collaborate was open. Because too, I found too that if you just sit there, you
Yes.
can't have a laptop that's a small screen. If you have like set up with 2 screens, you can have that sitting open and be working on something else. But I would always plan that to work during my office hours, and then I would just leave it on the whiteboard to call for me when they needed me.
I have
Miguel,
a question. Yes, I have a question similar to Lori. I'm an adjunct faculty and I don't have office hours. When we were on campus, I also had some hours in the tutoring center. So I give to my students my hours in the tutoring center. They can come, I can work with them and other students also. But now on the syllabus, I'll start to work on the syllabus that we should submit. What you suggest to put on office hours? Because I'm adjunct and officially we don't have office hours. So.
right, so you can put something that says, I'm available to meet with you individually online.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to email me to make an appointment so that we can schedule a time to meet. The college is really trying to minimize students coming onto campus. So I really want to encourage all of you to make sure that if you are meeting with students, that it is done virtually or on the telephone or through email, that you're not asking them to come to campus to meet with you.
Okay. Okay, so I can just put by appointment and in the process with students we can schedule.
Yes, and maybe when you mention by appointment that you do mention that we'll be using some sort of online virtual so that they also understand that they're not required to come to campus to meet with you.
Yes, okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm curious as to how Blackboard Collaborate works in terms of being able to see everybody. Does it only show like 5 people at most, and can you toggle over to see other people, or how does that work? Because right now I can't.
Right. It only shows, it looks like 4 people, and then there's like a little that says +9. You can toggle it so that it shows the speaker only, but it's not like Zoom where it will show, it'll just make smaller squares and show everybody.
Okay, and there's not even like an arrow where you can like see who's got their video on and who doesn't or anything like that? It's just arbitrary, like who's...
If you want to see who has their video on, or you can look at the participant list. And I'm trying to see now. No.
I can't tell.
No, I can't tell either. I thought that would work. No,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to change it. Now I'm just playing around with it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely different. I like Zoom a little better because you have, and WebEx, because you can see everybody in the room and it just makes it small.
You could even potentially sort of proctor an exam that way if you wanted to.
Yes, you could.
I don't think we're
Donald,
going to be able to do. I don't think we're going to be able to schedule exams for a specific time though. Like I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Unless your course is listed as having asynchronous components on the schedule.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, then you should be able to use that time slot to
Yeah.
proctor an exam. Absolutely.
Okay.
That I might consider that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
then
don't
you
know.
can sort of see where the students' eyes are going. But I think for that, since you can't toggle back and forth, then probably the better one would be to use Zoom or WebEx.
Right. Right.
Lisa, do you have the professional version of Zoom that goes beyond 40 minutes?
I don't, but I was planning on getting it before
Okay.
the start of the fall semester. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have it either.
And I want to learn how to do breakout groups in that as well.
Right.
Now you can do breakout groups and collaborate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
You can
I don't know
and
how
then,
to do that.
Yeah.
yeah, and then you can kind of jump into each of the groups to see how they're doing. You can also do surveys. You can do polling. But if you look at on the bottom of the bottom right side of the screen, it looks like a little box with an arrow on it. If you click on that, you see the different options. So for secondary content, you can do polling, but under interact, you can do breakout groups. If you click on that, you can either randomly assign groups or you can assign groups yourself and choose which students to go into which. I've used it before, and it's a pretty cool feature.
Where is it?
If you click on, let me just go back to the beginning. If you click on the purple, on the bottom right, the purple tab with the arrows, it says Open Collaborate Panel.
Oh, wait, hang on. The bottom right, Open Collaborate panel. I'm not seeing that.
You know what? I wonder if maybe you don't see it because you're not the.
Well, I see something for close Collaborate panel. So I think I already have it open.
It switches
Maybe
between open and close.
I think
So
only
right now it's already open.
the facilitator can do it.
So what am I clicking on once it's open?
Then I'm gonna share my entire screen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if this works. It's gonna get all weird for a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry. I think I'm gonna have to enter from a different way. Hey Donald, while I'm figuring this out, did you want to ask a question? Okay, I saw his hand up earlier.
I think Karen's raising her hand.
Yeah, I had a question as well.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Oh. Go ahead.
This is Donald. Sorry.
Hi, Donald.
Hi. You said in the instructions you wanted to use the sandbox shell for loading content and such. How long would that be available to us to transfer content to our own course shells? Is that going to be like closed down in a couple weeks, or is that going to permanently open in our Blackboard? I'm just wondering.
It will be permanently open.
Okay, so like even like this fall, what we put in there, we can still access it, transfer over, you're saying?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I still use my sandbox to play around with creating learning modules before my shell is available, because I feel that the shells become available pretty late in the semester and I like to get to work early. So I always create things in my sandbox and then just copy it over as I go over.
I see Pardes now. All I saw when I clicked on the box with the arrow initially was it just said share content at the top, and then it said nothing is shared. So I think it's just because I'm not the host.
Yes.
So that's fine. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so you can definitely do it. And as I said, you can randomly assign groups. You can custom assignment. You can choose how many groups you want to create. So it's really a cool thing. I'm just going to now stop sharing my screen so we can get out of this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Karen, I see you have a question.
Yeah. I haven't listened, I haven't watched the videos for the first assignment yet. Um, is it best practices to require that they have cameras available? Um, is that something that we should be putting on our syllabus? Because if we're gonna, say for example, Lisa was interested in using Collaborate to watch them take a test. If they don't have a camera, then that's not going to be an option. So being that we're going to be online for the most part in the fall, what should we be doing? What should we be asking them to have available?
That's a really hard question to address, and I'm sure other people have ideas. But I know that with the way things are going now, my son needed a camera for his computer, and we ended up paying way more than what it should have cost because everyone now requires a camera. The price has really gone up, and it was difficult to find as well. And so I'm hesitant to say that we should require students to have a camera because it may be cost prohibitive. The other thing, though, is I have found that most of my students, if not all, have a smartphone. You can use all of these features on a smartphone, and those have a built-in camera. So while the quality may be a little different than using the computer, it's still a possibility. But I think that's a great question. And I'm going to open this up to the group and what your opinion is in terms of should we require students, or should you require students to have a webcam?
Well, unfortunately, I had to for my class that I'm developing now. In the spring, even I had to, because for the basic skills test for Math 130, I had to use ProctorU because it's a test where they can't even use a calculator. So it has to be proctored. Right. And so I basically warned them up front. I gave them several weeks notice and said, if you don't have one, can you try to borrow one from somebody just during your appointment so that you can, have a webcam, and so you can actually proctor you taking the exam. You get to choose, when you're going to take the exam. So try to procure something that will work for you between now and then. And I ended up not having any pushback from students. Everybody was able to actually take the exam.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I wonder if Harper has learners as well.
Well, here's the thing. Harper has Chromebooks, but luckily I found out ahead of time that Chromebooks and ProctorU don't get along very well. So I had to warn my students that if they were using a loaner Chromebook, that they would have to maybe borrow from a family member or friend for the ProctorU test, because the book was likely not going to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Harper doesn't have a policy. Harper doesn't have a policy then about what we should be saying is required.
No, that's up to.
Personally, I don't want that to be a requirement on my syllabus because students will jump out of my class in a heartbeat.
Well, I would think that
if we ask them to use their phone,
from the
what will they cheat with?
I mean, the class that I teach had been taught online in the past. So, I mean, they had to have done something for tests before, or did they make people come in and go to the testing center for tests before? So I don't know. I was assuming I was going to contact the math department for some of these classes because I've never taught them online before, but they've been taught online. So there has to be some solution for how we've tested and for the people who took it online.
Yeah, Lori, I think typically they would go to the testing center, which is not an option now. So.
But is the math department looking at having some kind of policy so that everybody kind of, at least at a class-by-class basis, people do similar things? Or, do you know, in the department meetings, have they been talking about that? And guidelines? No, because I know it was a spring, but it was because it was in the last minute.
I know that they've been talking about the fall semester at looking at additional proctoring options for the fall, and the testing center is currently looking at some other possibilities besides ProctorU, and they're aware that the Chromebooks don't work well with ProctorU, nor does it work well with the Respondus lockdown browser. So I think they're trying to find an alternative that could work with the Chromebooks as well.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Beck, how do you transfer the material from the sandbox to your actual course? Is there option copying from the whole course, the whole material to copy to the new course, or do you do one by one announcement, copy and paste another material, or the whole class can be copied in the new class?
So the answer is both. You can copy the entire course,
Mhm.
move everything over to a new course, or you can copy by folder by folder. You could do so both. It's both possible.
Good, very, very good options. Thank you. Mhm.
Of course. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Donald again. I hadn't tried this picture option to the get to know people before, so it's provided instructions. I tried it, but it just came out like a black screen. So was there a special trick to that other than uploading the photo and insert?
I just inserted my photo. There's like a button in Blackboard where it's just like a picture icon and you can insert your photo that way. And I actually edited mine. Like I had to pare mine down quite a bit. And there's an option for like changing the resolution or changing the pixelation of it so that it'll actually fit in the message.
You mean it doesn't size automatically?
No, mine was huge at first. I was really embarrassed, and I had to like go back in and figure out how to make it smaller.
Okay, because I before this I posted it, but it just came out a little black box next to the post.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's not like taking up the whole screen or anything. It's small, but I didn't size anything. I don't know what to put in. You know.
To set your avatar, there's a different setting. You have to go up to your name on Blackboard on the right-hand side of the screen, wherever your name is. Click on that, and then I think there's.
Oh, I don't mean that. I'm talking about the get to know folder that we were supposed to post in.
In the discussion board. He's talking discussion board.
Yeah, in the discussion board.
He's not talking about the avatar. He's talking about the picture in your message in your
discussion board.
Right.
So were you able to watch the YouTube video on how to edit an image to the discussion board post?
Yeah, I watched. You went through everything pretty fast. I mean, you know, good. I don't know. Like I said, I just wondered. That's all.
Yes, there's a little picture of an image. Let me see if I can take a quick picture of it and put it in. I'm going to do a quick share. While I'm doing that, I see Ginger, you have a question?
Yes, I was just wondering as both being the instructor for this online class and being a Faculty Senate exec, what is the Faculty Senate's position on accepting the stipend to design an online course, which I know the first step is taking this class and then actually teaching it. Like, I know that there's some concerns just with other faculty members that I've talked to about our intellectual property and the concern that things like science classes, that those labs would then be taught online and we might not have any say. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I think there is that opportunity for the stipend.
Yeah, so for the stipend, my understanding is if you are paid a stipend for the creation of the class, then that material is property of the college and they can reuse it. So I do know that some faculty have chosen not to take the stipend because they want to keep their intellectual rights. I personally in the past have taken the stipend because it was a lot of money. So it's really a personal decision. And I didn't understand your question about the lab.
Well, so for those of us that have labs, I guess our concern is that we we want to be back in the classroom doing these labs. So, but as at least at the biology department, we chose that just for the fall semester to go completely online because there was no way to get enough lab time and cleaning in between. So let's say come spring semester, are we still going to be expected to teach a class online that we designed for online, but maybe we'd rather teach it as a blended class instead? Or would we be contractually have to because we taught it that way this semester?
No, so it's our understanding that, especially for lab classes, that being in the classroom and doing hands-on is a better option just because the students need that touch. It's an extreme semester, and so I don't anticipate all labs being online starting. And if things go back to normal in spring, I think our schedule will go back to normal as well. And the ICCB right now is making special exceptions right now in terms of lab time and requirement for lab time. And I think that once this pandemic thing ends, that those special exemptions will also end.
Okay. But if we're doing the work, we might as well get compensated for it.
That's how I feel. It's a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, and then going back to adding image into the discussion board. So I just put on here how to, creating a thread. To add your image, you click on this picture of an image over here. You would scroll through your images, and it's a little slower now because I'm doing Collaborate while I'm trying to do this. I'll just see if something quick can pop up. Okay, my picture. Maybe it's my picture of a dog. You can put a description or not, but we were talking about earlier in terms of appearance. These are the dimensions. So you can change the dimensions here. There's advanced options here. Click on insert. Oh, it is a picture of me and my dog. And you can see here it shows up right into the thread, and then you would click on submit.
Okay, I'll just again. I guess it didn't quite work the first time for me.
Now, Pardis, did you save that?
No.
Oh, the reason I asked is because I posted one picture and then I thought, well, I don't want to use that one. I'll use a different one. And I went to cut it out and I couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, I think the course might be set that you cannot edit your own posts, but I can change that and allow you to edit your own posts.
Oh, Phil, were you able to go back and look at your post and get into your post, but you couldn't figure out how to remove the picture?
I couldn't change the picture. I couldn't cut the one.
You know what you do? I couldn't figure it out at first either. You can actually just backspace over it and it just will delete it.
I tried that.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry.
So then what I did was I just copied what I had written and deleted the post that I had, created another post.
That works. Yeah, somehow just backspace right over my pictures.
I don't know, maybe it's because I already posted it, I don't know.
I don't know, I just checked and you do have the editing rights. So you should have been able to delete it, but I'm not even sure. I'm gonna do it now. Let me post something and see what happens how do I delete it?
Because I think what I ended up doing was I wanted to stick the picture higher up in the post. And so I got rid of it at the bottom and then just stuck it in the middle. So yeah, I was somehow able to
Was it before or after you saved it?
Oh, I had already posted and then I went back in and edited my post.
Oh, wow. See, I wasn't able to.
Okay.
All right, let me see if I can do it now. I'll share this again. All right, just posted the picture. Now if I see, no. Yeah, so what did you do? How do you edit it? Oh, here. So this is, I just clicked on my own posting on the bottom. You can see here where it says edit. If I click on the picture and hit backspace, that does not work. if I click on image, let's see if this will work. And
Wait, click after the picture like you're going to try to type some text.
Oh.
See, yeah, there.
That's gone.
Yeah.
And then I submitted, no, nothing's on there. So yeah, you can certainly edit it after you.
I don't know if this had any effect on it, but I had centered it, and then I had the typing down below, and then I no matter what I did, I couldn't get back up to delete it.
Huh. Okay. I occasionally have that problem in Blackboard where I'm just trying to type an announcement and I can't like arrow back. That happens to me like every other time I'm doing something in Blackboard where I have to like just kind of move the cursor around and then it gets it working again. It's really strange. But every now and then I can't backspace. And it's just like a weird Blackboard glitch.
Yeah, I don't know if I've experienced that.
I definitely experience on a regular basis in Blackboard. I have no idea why.
I've had that problem too.
Question?
Yeah, I do have another question. For this first week's assignment, we're to upload our syllabus, and I'm just wondering, what are your expectations on completeness of it? Like, what are you looking for? Because, I mean, it's June 9th, so, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things, so what are your expectations?
For your future syllabus. What I'm just looking is that you have the required parts of it. So the policies, your name, the office location. Although your office hour statement for fall should be very different. Yeah. Make sure you have the updated success services and library resources because it's all a little different. So I'm just looking for the stagnant pieces, the parts that you can copy over from semester to semester, not the calendar. Or the points or the assignments or things like that, because I understand you don't know yet how it's going to pan out.
Okay, but now, do you have a resource, or can you direct us where the updated success services and all that information is? Because, I mean, we probably all have what started out in the spring semester and then everything was changed. So is there a resource for that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to have to look around for it, but there is.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask along those lines for scheduling? So in the syllabus schedule, so I don't remember where you had it, Pardes, but do we only really have to have 2 weeks worth of a schedule written out? So not the 16 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so during this course, you're going to be creating 2 learning modules. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I see there's a question from Lori.
Yeah, I had a question. I forgot what it was, but the other squirrel, I got distracted. You have a template for the syllabus there. Does that have all the right information in it, in that template? For the student service, the stuff that stays the same?
Let me check really quick. I cannot remember if it was updated to reflect this COVID.
Okay, and then the next question has to do with if we put put one of these discussion board things of getting to know you for the student, how like we're discussing how do you put a picture in and all that. Is that something, can we assume our students, most of the students know how to do that, or how much instruction we need to give them in order to do a little introduction to the picture?
So from my experience, there are some students who have never had an online class before. And so the more you load up front instructions so that you're not constantly answering questions, the easier it'll be for you. So for example, in my summer courses, I do the same thing where I have students post a picture of themselves in the discussion board. So right in the directions for the discussion board, I just do a little snap picture of where to click to insert the picture and just have that in the bottom. And so then students they can see right away how to insert the picture, and there are generally not any questions on it. But in terms of assignments like blogs and wikis, I generally don't have instructions how to add to those assignments, as I feel students figure it out. But for submitting assignments, I do find that some students have a difficult time knowing how to submit an assignment. So what I did this semester is, for the first week under the assignment, I list the assignment and everything normal. And then I also put in a YouTube video on how to submit assignments in Blackboard. And so, yeah, I guess in summary, I would err on caution and be more upfront than less upfront.
Okay.
So Charlotte?
Yes. So I was wondering about closed captioning for videos. Do we need to do that? And if so, how do we do that?
Yeah, so that's always a really tricky question. One of the easiest ways to do it is to post your content to YouTube and then allow YouTube to do the automatic captioning. Now, I do want to say that this is not ADA compliant, so this is good for students in the classroom. However, if you do have a student who is hard of hearing, you would need to send your video to ADS, and they have to have it captioned properly. So the automatic one is okay as long as there's no documented students in your classroom with a hearing, with impaired hearing, but it would not be okay if there was.
Do you know what the lag time is, or how long it takes ADS office to caption videos? Like, how much time do they need so that the student gets it on time?
I don't know, but it's longer than you think. However, oftentimes you don't know if you have a student with that has that accommodation until the first week of class. And so
yeah,
they'll usually try to get things out pretty quickly for the first couple weeks so that you can keep up with your material. And then the earlier you submit it to them, the better it is.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, I see you have a question.
Yeah, thank you again. Where is the statement of understanding? This is for the first assignment. I didn't easily find that. So I think it's a form we have to fill out? So
It is a form. Yes, let me bring you over there really quick. It's going to do the rabbit hole again. So this is week 1. No, it's not. I'm sorry. This is our orientation week. Let me go back really quick. So it's going to be under this folder that says module assignments. When you click on it, the statement of understanding is over here where it says TOS create statement of understanding summer 2020. When you download it, okay.
Yeah, I didn't look down far enough. All right, I expected it to be in the assignment. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I just checked the syllabus template, and it is up to date. So all you have to do is just update the course information in the syllabus for that assignment. I'll just type that in the message board as well. Any other questions?
No, and thank you very much.
I have a question. In our math education courses, Lisa and I both typically do a lot of group work where basically during the face-to-face class, we'll have the students working on problems or a worksheet, and we'll circulate around and give them some hints and ask them, you know, how did you figure this out, etc. What do you recommend? What's a good way to try to do that online?
I definitely think you can do that using Collaborate, using the breakout groups. Doing it asynchronously might be a little more difficult because you're not going to be there to provide like those tips or immediate feedback. And then
well, we do have asynchronous time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. then yes, I would absolutely use Collaborate and put them in breakout rooms. And then
Okay.
you would do the same thing as if in your class, you would just kind of circulate from group to group and provide feedback or hints when they get stuck.
Okay. If they're in a breakout group, is there a student who would be like the host of that group who could share their screen, or how can they share things with each other?
Yes, I think all students have the ability to share their screen with each other.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to try it out right now?
Sure.
Maybe put me in a group together or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Like we could even, hold on. You could even have students things like on paper and they could hold it up to each other and stuff like that.
That's true. That's true.
Yes. Adrian, I just put you in a group, so if you lost us, you wouldn't even know I'm talking. Okay, let me.
And I'm trying to think, is it better to give them like something to do on paper, or is it better to send them to a website? I don't know.
So on paper, would they have to do it? Like, would they have to print it out, or can they work on it where they are?
Well, that's
so I have said, because what I have done in the past and what I think I'll continue to do is say, look, I'm going to make this document available. If you have it, print it out. If you don't have a printer and you have like an iPad where you can work on it like as almost like a PDF annotator, go ahead and do that and save your work that way. And the people that printed it out and hand wrote it, they would just send me a picture of it or a scan. And then if they don't have a printer at all and they don't have technology to, you know, show me the document or to work directly on the document, they can just write their work out, copy as much of the problem down as they want on a piece of paper, and just write out their work and write their answers and send those to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
because I think with math,
like, we kind of have to be flexible.
Because all those symbols, it's hard for sometimes students to find the symbols on a keyboard. It's not as easy as writing it down. Okay, I'm putting you. So Charlotte and Lisa, I'm putting you in a breakout room.
I was just gonna. So. I was just gonna toss something out there, and that's that they do have an app for a phone called Cam Scanner, and there's a lot of them that'll convert written documents into PDF files.
I've heard of that. Okay, let me write that down so I can remember. And I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna see how they're doing in group 1. So
I like your typing, Lori. What?
Can you see my chat, or does it not show? I have to step aside.
I saw you typing.
Yeah, I'm typing a chat, and does it show up for you guys? No. Okay. My neighbor, I shouldn't call at my neighbor's house. I have to call the phone on the med for her. I'll be back in just a second.
So they're off in the breakout room. Would any of you like to go into their breakout room to see what it looks like?
Sure.
Okay. Figure this out. I know I've used it before, but it's been a while. So Phil, I'm going to place you with them.
All right.
And well, I'm sorry, who wants to go in there too?
This is Nellie. Could you add me to the breakout room as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is a really great tool if you've never used it before to play around with. It really does mimic like small group work in your class. Okay. So are there any other questions that I can answer? Anyone? Okay, well, you all have a great day. Oh, I did want to ask you one more question. Would you like to do another collaborate like this again towards the end of the week before your week 1 items are due?
Yes, maybe it will be nice.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm also going to do polling so you can see what it looks like. So hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'm asking if you'd like another collaborate session on Thursday. So it should have popped up on your screen. All right, so it looks like everyone's saying yes. Is this a good time for everybody?
Yes,
Early
it
or
is.
later?
Yes.
I would prefer a little later, but I guess whatever fits.
Like, okay, I'll ask a question. It's so fun to play around with this. Okay. So 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. What time would you prefer on Thursday?
This is Don. My vote.
Okay. Now you're losing.
Yes, I vote 3 p.m.
5 p.m.'s catching up. If it were up to me, I would do it at like 6 a.m. All right, anyone else want to respond? Okay, sorry, Donald. 3 p.m. one, I just one vote.
Good, great.
All right, I'll post that on Blackboard, and I'm just going to leave you now and see how the group is doing. So if there's no other questions, have a great day.
Thank you very
Pardes,
much.
should I stay here or?
I'm going to put you in your own breakout room, and I'll come talk to you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Pardes. Have a nice day too. Bye.
Thanks, Marianne. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, Chloe. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ginger, do you have 2?
The first one wouldn't connect, so I guess I'm on number 2.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.